Welcome back to Apod Podcast with new guest, Jonathan. Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right? How's your day been?
It's been good. It's a little slow, but
A little slow.
it's picking up.
Yeah, that's good. I'm in the same boat. So, to start off, we always start off with the same question every podcast. Who is your favorite artist?
I think probably Pink Floyd, I'd have to say.
Pink Floyd? Okay. And now, what is your top 5 by Pink Floyd?
My top 5 by Pink Floyd, I'd say Comfortably Numb,
Okay.
Another Brick in the Wall Part 2,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Wish You Were Here,
Mm-hmm.
One of My Turns,
Okay.
and probably The Thin Ice.
All right. Because I'm going to be honest, I've never listened to Pink Floyd.
I assume so.
Yeah. So, I have the top 5 most streamed songs right here. I want you to guess what you think the top 5 are.
Top 5? Well, I know
Most streamed, not popular, just streamed.
Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 is definitely up there.
It's number 1.
Wish You Were Here is probably up there.
Number 2.
Money?
4.
4. What do I have? I have 3 right now?
Yeah, you got 3. You need 3 and 5.
Great Gig in the Sky? Is that on there?
No.
Really? Shit, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. With number 3, you said it.
I said it as one of mine?
Yeah.
Comfortably Numb?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Number 5, it's same title as a popular Yeet song. That was like all over TikTok and social media for like months. It was like a dumb trend.
I don't know.
Breathe.
Oh, Breathe? In the Air?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties. So, Jonathan, we have technically recorded one before on Apod Podcast. That did not go as well as it could have.
It was an interesting time.
It was very interesting.
We had some special guests come in.
Special guests. It could have been good. Maybe we just you couldn't understand it.
Yeah,
really, if you weren't with us.
It was a little all over the place.
Yeah, if you weren't with us, you couldn't really understand. It was a lot of mixed characters. So, I remember you texting me you had some things you wanted to talk about. So before I get into what I want to talk about, let's talk about what some things you want to talk about.
All right. Well, I want to talk about life. Just kind of like explain it, I guess.
Like, what is life?
Yeah, pretty much.
I will. All right. So let me ask you then. What is life?
Well, what do you think life is?
What I think life is?
Yeah. What are you going into this thinking life is?
I think life is something that I don't like to bring up religion on something like social media or anything, but right now I'm gonna say it's something I think God put us here, like as a gift to come and serve Him while living out our fullest potential.
Well, that's basically what I was gonna say.
That's what you were gonna say?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, more in depth, but.
So, if you think it's more in depth, then tell me what's your more in depth version?
Well, what do you think our purpose here is?
To serve God and to live out our life to the fullest potential.
So, we are born, right?
Yeah.
And we go through life and we have all these challenges and difficulties. And everybody always questions why. Like, why are we here? What's the reason? So what if the whole reason for us being here is to go through those challenges and difficulties so that we can kind of learn as much as we can and prepare like all these life lessons for whatever's after this.
Like heaven and hell?
Yeah, but like what if this is like how our soul kind of prepares itself, almost like school for heaven.
Okay, so do you believe in a heaven and hell?
I mean, yeah, but not in the exact way that.
So what do you believe?
Christianity depicts it. I think that I think that all religions are true in some aspect, but they're kind of tailored to the people that they were
That
made
believe
for and
them.
that worship and that
Yeah.
like for their own kind of ways of life and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But the truth that's within each and every one, like each and every
Yeah.
religion that kind of lines up and ties them together to become a religion, I think that truth is actually what's happening, like up there, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually a good way to think about it. It's actually not bad. I yeah. I like that. What? So wait, do you really? So you think like Buddhism? They think you think some of that would be true, but most of it is just tailored to Buddhists.
Yeah, like think about all the religion and stuff. They all most of them have some sort of like higher power, higher god,
Yeah.
whatever. And then they have us, and then a lot of them have some sort of like hell, lower, whatever thing. So it's like maybe their descriptions of it aren't accurate, but the idea of them being there is, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like kind of like maybe this whatever the higher power being thing is presented itself to ancient Indians, and then they were like, "Hey, that's our God." And then they
Yeah.
presented themselves to the Jews, and they're like, "Hey, this is our God." But they interpreted what it was differently, and that different interpretation kind of grew to be their own separate religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because not
Re-
everybody's gonna develop it in
yeah.
the same way.
So real quick, if you see me looking off to the side and hearing stuff in the background, it's because there's a guy right here, Deshaun. This is just me and Jonathan right now, and I'm gonna do another one with him in the future. But he's just here because obviously this is his dorm. This is not my dorm, and he wanted to watch inside. You can say hi, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just here. So if you ever hear stuff, it's just him moving around because I'm not gonna kick him out of his own room. Uh, but back to what we were talking about. So with that, do you believe like okay in Christianity
Hmm.
there is so many more people who are in hell than heaven? Do you believe that's true?
I don't know if it's exactly true, but I know that they talk about heaven, they talk about earth, and then they talk about hell as three separate places. But there's also this idea of like purgatory where you go to clean your soul and kind of prepare yourself to enter heaven. So what if this is purgatory? So what if like this is our kind of way of learning and preparing ourselves for when we do enter heaven and can.
I think this is like so. I feel like what I was saying earlier, like praising God and living on potential. I think like there's the seven deadly sins,
Mhm.
and obviously God or Jesus will forgive you for some sins. I think there's only one sin that's not. I think it's blasphemy. I think that's the only one that's not forgivable, unless obviously it was a whole thing. But I think it's the only one that's not forgivable,
Mhm.
from what I know. So, like, okay, those people who came here in like November or October who were trying to praise the Lord or like
Mhm.
praise Jesus, they were not. They were doing it a whole different way that should have not been said.
Yeah, they
They
were
were,
trying to evoke anger out of
yeah,
people.
they were slandering instead of teaching.
Mhm.
They said they were teaching, but they weren't. They were saying how you should hate your neighbor if they're not exactly like you. Like
Yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah, that's definitely blasphemy. Like using the idea of a religion to kind of manipulate and get your way.
Yeah,
But then if you think about it, you could argue that the modern day Bible is a form of blasphemy because in like the ancient, not ancient, but like in the dark times and like the dark ages, they changed it and they added a bunch of stuff and they burned things and they did it so that they can kind of govern over their people. And I mean, slowly over time, it's evolved more back
yeah.
towards how it was. But for a long time, there were a lot of people who were influenced by this like form of blasphemy, kind of.
I feel what you were saying though about the Bible being different nowadays, I think everything's different. Like in Jews, there's the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
That's clearly, I don't care what no one says. Nobody says that is not the exact same how it was originally. How it was back in before BC, or even the Bible. I feel like it's different. There's stuff left out or stuff that was added that was not. Like, yeah, maybe there's. I think there is some Torah or some Bible that is saved over time, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that's not allowed to be touched or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's like a museum or something. I know that for a fact, but all these other Bibles or anything, they're not the exact same. Some are different
Mm-hmm.
than what they used to be.
And with the idea of like translating from an ancient language, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
get the exact meanings out. So some of that meaning kind of gets
Yeah.
lost in different, like it changes throughout interpretations and all that stuff too. But I feel like the truth that's kind of at the core of it all, it's got to be true. I mean,
Yeah.
and like there's evidence of something everywhere. Like everything is so meticulously designed and like it just all works
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. Like there's never really any like nothing really goes wrong or breaks
So,
the rules.
with you believing in all this religion and all this kind of stuff, here's a question I want to ask because I know a lot of religious people who hate it and some who do not, who actually believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's extraterrestrial life? Like there's aliens or something else in the universe that's not just us?
Yes,
But
just based on um the nature of us being here. Because if we're here to experience, like if our souls are here to experience life and whatever, then why can't
mm,
some souls do that somewhere else in a different world in like some faraway planet that we can never discover?
I feel like there might actually be some, but there will never ever be a chance that we'll ever see them.
Probably not. And it's probably made that way on purpose
Yeah,
because if we do come together with these different understandings of what's going on, maybe we'll find out the truth. But maybe we're not meant to find out the full truth. And you don't even really know the full truth until you're done with this life. The only people who know are the people who are in heaven or in hell.
yeah. It's all different views. Welcome back. So this is a huge change up from what we just talked about, but recently there's been massive memes going across, like another massive meme called the low taper fade. And do you like? This is a genuine question. Like I'm being so serious when I ask this. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think brain rot from like when we were younger? Like remember those shows? Like I don't remember what it was show, but it was a show about superheroes. It was a Fanboy and Chum Chum,
Mm.
like stuff like that. And then there's brain rot now. That like if you had to really say like who had the better brain rot, what do you like? What do you actually think?
I think we did. To be honest, I think our generation had the best brain rot because when something new comes out, like all the first iterations and all the first ideas of that thing, those are the best. And then
Yeah,
people start to run out of ideas and it just crashes in on itself. So I feel like modern day brain rot is it kind of crashing in on itself. We were kind of like the golden age of memes, I guess.
you remember Uncle Grandpa?
Yeah, that show
Now
was
that
random as hell.
that show I feel like didn't even have a storyline. It was
Not at
just
all.
the creators just having fun.
Yeah, they just anything that came to mind, they just threw it down,
Like
even if it didn't make sense.
don't ever do what I'm about to say. Like I'm not saying I did it, but just never do what I'm about to say. I feel like those like creators or writers just took acid
Oh yeah,
before every single
for
episode.
sure. I think 90% of the people who control like popular media and art and stuff, I think they're all
Drug addicts and stuff.
something like that.
I feel like that. And speaking of art, you're an artist.
I am an artist.
And how is that? Like, how is that going? You're an art major, correct?
Hmm.
How's that going?
Um, honestly, lately it's been doing pretty good. I I don't know. I kind of got this idea that maybe the more I like kind of figure out how things work, I could make art out of that and kind of try to explain it through pictures instead of words, because it's a lot easier to do that than
To write it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I figure out how like the music industry works, let's say, like where somebody has to kind of give up themselves for it in order to make it big and get those streams, maybe I could draw that out as like it being ripped from someone, like,
Yeah.
you
Like
know
a
what I mean?
soul or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in return for the whatever they want to get.
And like, have you like always known you wanted to do this?
Always, my whole life.
Really?
Ever since I was younger, I've drawn all the time. Just, I don't know why.
Never like. That's kind of cool that you stuck with the same thing. Like I, well, recently I've been saying, but I usually just jumped around. What about you? You jumped around? Like ideas in your life? Yeah, like everyone does.
I mean, I always had like phases of things, but
But drawing always stuck with you.
yeah, it's like I always like resorted back to it. Like I wanted to be a ventriloquist
Oh my
for like a year when I was in middle school. Then I wanted to be a magician.
magic. Were you
I wanted to
messy?
be a janitor when I was in like elementary school.
I mean, janitor when I was younger seemed like a good job
Yeah, right.
because like you would just chill, you would clean, and you're like that was it.
Then you get older and you realize what they actually had to clean.
Yeah, you're like oh, what about that? But with like art, like is it like okay? My friend from home, he's an artist.
Hmm.
He does it to like escape from everything. Do you agree with something like? Do you do that, or is it just something like you just do?
I mean, kinda, but I have a theory about like where art comes from, like where we get art from. Like I don't think it comes from like within us. Like I don't think we put the pieces together to create. I mean, not all the time. I mean, sometimes yeah, but I think the most like genuine and the most like efficient works of art, like with anything, like music, architecture, posters, anything. I think it's like kind of given to us as like here's this concept, you can kind of make it your own, do it like some sort of like whether it's like a guardian angel or like whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. I think they kind of use us as like a tool almost to
Yeah,
kind of put this idea out, sort of thing.
I feel that. So okay, with art, right
Hmm.
now, obviously you guys cannot see, but in this wall, right on his side of the wall, he has a lot of albums. Do you consider like I know some people actually think all art is the same in a way, music art, regular art, drawing art.
Hmm.
What do you think about that? Because I've heard about that some places.
Yeah, I think it's the same because if you think about what art really is, it's just they just put the colors to kind of create the illusion of like that it's something else.
Yeah,
So it's like at its core, yeah, because it's not really that thing. It's made to look like that thing, or made to sound like that thing, or made to sound like that idea, or look like that idea. So I mean, yeah, kinda, but also everything kind of has its own personality to it. Like we're all humans, but we're not all the same person. You know what I mean?
yeah, right about that. So next question, a little softer. What do you think about the food here? I'm gonna be so
Food,
like South and Calf, everything. What do you think? Speaking of this, we have two
good
main
question.
dining halls, but we also have two other restaurants on campus, like fast food, like a place called Zoka. You get pizza, crunch wraps. It's like basically a Chipotle with some other things in it. And then we have a Chick-fil-A on campus. And then we have these other two called Calf and South. Two dining halls. South is like the main one. What do you think about the like? What do you think about the dining halls? Not excluding Chick-fil-A and Zoka. What do you think about South and Calf?
I think South could be better. They kind of slack with the food a little bit. I remember in the beginning of the year, those burgers were like the best thing I
Oh
ever
my
tasted.
god.
But now if I eat it, I taste straight ground beef, no seasoning, nothing. It's just
Yeah.
nasty. But like they got some good food upstairs sometimes. Like when they got the pasta slaps. Um, I've had some good chicken and rice up there. But yeah, I mean it's
You
consistent.
consistent. Yeah, I think South is cool because the pool tables and all
Yeah, they
that
got.
activities.
I think the downstairs is a pretty unique
Pretty
place.
unique. Uh, Now speaking of food,
Mm.
we went to a place that what was it called?
I don't even. It was hibachi something.
It
I
was
don't know.
hibachi in Reading. What obviously the second time wasn't the best because we had to wait for hibachi, so we just ate there. Wasn't that good? But hibachi itself, what did you think about it? You think it was a top 5 hibachi you ever
I
had?
think that's a top 2 hibachi
Top
I've
2
ever had.
hibachi?
That steak, I got steak and I got fried rice, and that fried rice was the best fried rice I've ever had in my life, and that
That
steak
fried rice was
melted in
top
my
tier.
mouth instantly.
That fried rice was top tier. Now there were me, BJ. His name is John, but we have 2 Johns, so call him Big John. So BJ. Prayers up for him, by the way. Going through everything, keeping your prayers. But we got Jonathan, and we went, and it was just a random. What was it, like a Tuesday or something? And we are like, I was like,
Something
texting, I was
like
like,
that.
let's go hibachi. And we drove. It was like what, 30 minutes
About.
around there,
Nice drive.
and there was no one there. We sat down, got some food, and all 3 of us took a bite of the fried rice, and we said it was the best fried rice we ever had.
I
It
dream
was,
about it sometimes.
it was actually amazing. But it probably wasn't the best food we had that night. So, what did you think about? Oh, I think it was called Sweet Shop. I think it was.
I just want to tell y'all watching this right now, you need to go there to that ice cream spot. It's the best ice cream I've ever had in my life. It barely melted. It was flavorful. They had what? It was like 40 flavors.
There
They had.
was
It was
many
crazy,
flavors.
and it was amazing. Like it was good ice cream. I had a huge cup of ice cream for what? It was like $6.
$5, barely. And they put as much flavors as they can.
We just put y'all on.
It's in Reading, and they literally. I forgot to say this when you ask for like, they don't tell you a certain amount. Like usually they don't. One person did, but usually they don't tell you a certain amount. They're just like, tell me a flavor. We'll try to get as much as we can in here. You got a medium. I got a large. They put like 10 flavors in my large, which was absolutely insane.
Put them to work. They just kept scooping that shit in.
Yeah, it was actually insane how amazing it was too. Like we convinced our friend BJ to get that. Like he was sitting in the car, he was like, I don't know, guys, and we convinced him.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna wait in the car for you guys. It's cool. We got in the car. I gave him one taste of my ice cream. He got up and went his own.
It was amazing. Shout out Sweet Shop. I think that's what it's called. It's in
Shout
Reading.
out Sweet Shop.
Best ice cream I've ever had. Actually, did you like it?
Yeah, that milkshake is good.
Yeah, Deshaun got a milkshake. He liked it. We're back. I just want to say real quick, like and subscribe, please. Helps out, supports the channel. Go follow the Instagram at apod_podcast. Also, if you would like a shirt, they're like $10, 12 maybe. They're usually just around $10. I'll give you a discount if you apply in like a week or 2. I'll give it $8, $7, just for you. So, technical difficulties. I was an idiot. I charged the wrong mic. This mic wasn't even touched and it was full. His wasn't. His died after a bit. So, yeah, I guess I found out that thing lasts an hour and a half. It's good to know.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all. For what, $10 off TikTok shop? Not bad. So, we were talking about before, obviously, it died. How are you feeling? We've been here, 7, 8 months now? How are you feeling about Kutztown? Like, honestly. Like, being straight up. Doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship. I think it's a nice campus. It's quiet. The parties are fun, but it's a little too quiet sometimes. I feel like I need more to do. I need to get out more, but it's also cold, so wouldn't really be doing that anyway.
I've been taking the shuttle a lot recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to tap in with that.
It's clutch. I won't lie. See, you were talking about that. I was just talking today with my teammate Blaze. Shout out Blaze from Delco as well. He was talking about apparently his freshman year and sophomore year and junior year were the most crazy years he's ever been. Like apparently before like 2 years ago, maybe 3, it was like a crazy party school. Like people were going insane here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like he was saying. I'm not gonna obviously say everything, but that like there was a party every weekend, and the parties were like stacked to the brim, especially like sports houses, especially.
Mhm.
Like they wouldn't even charge people money to let really anyone in.
Oh wow.
Like football, we throw parties, but it's only just the basement usually. Now, but back then apparently it was the basement, the middle, the roof, everything outside, everywhere. But apparently cops have been getting stricter over the years, so it's just hard to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel like the parties could definitely be better, but I mean they're good sometimes. When they're good, they're good.
yeah. When they're good, they're on point.
They're a little iffy though.
They're never like perfect. I feel like I didn't get to experience Halloween as much as I could. But did you have fun on Halloween?
Yeah, I think Halloween weekend was pretty fun.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people said they had fun. It was decent for me. It wasn't bad. But yeah. So this is gonna be our last main question, then we'll get into the things that we always end with. So last main question.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the STARS program. Do you really think that was useful? Or was it just an excuse to get money? Like I love the Kutztown STARS program. I think it was something that kind of helped, and it was great to meet people. It was a start, and got me fresh here. But do you really think it was useful at all?
Honestly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think without stars, I would probably be with a weird roommate, not have that many friends. Probably wouldn't be doing as much work as I do. I mean, I don't really do that much work anyway, but
Okay.
I would be doing less work.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't be as responsible. And I wouldn't really, it would have took me a lot longer to kind of understand how college works and get into that, like, that way of life,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. Last like little question before we really end it off, Jonathan. You got, I think it was in like November or something. If I can, I'll add it in here and show the photo. You got a KU barber to cut your hair. How was that experience?
I'm never going to any barbers within a 1 hour radius of this town. They ruined my life, ruined my dignity, and they stole my money. Stay away from Main Street.
How about that? So, to end this all off, I want you to just look at the camera, and I want you to say who you want to see on here next. Can't be Deshaun because we're already playing it.
Who do I want to see on here next? Probably Paris. Have you done a podcast with Paris? I feel like that would be pretty.
No, the only one I've done with Paris was the one we had.
I feel like that would be pretty entertaining.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy. That'd be a short one. I have to make it short because eventually she'd get cursing too much or whatever. But she'd have fun. I feel like that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be a really interesting podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow the Instagram. Check out the merch. If you want some merch, just DM me. Thank you. Peace out.
Apod podcast, baby!